What's up, YouTube? Confirmant221 here, and welcome back to another COH2 Season 6 gameplay here. We're playing as United States with Schnappy and Nick. I'm playing as United States. We're going against 3 Wehrmacht players. Let's talk about the map. This map is huge for 3v3. So, the 2 players to the north, we have Schnappy in the north. His goal is to secure the victory point and fight over the fields. The fields are on a hill position. Now, I'm going to be going for the munitions and protecting the central victory point star, and Nick is going to find the left. All you need to do to win on this map is hold basically these 3 victory stars on our side, or if you're on the opponent's side, you need to hold these 3 victory stars here. So I'm going to be in the middle, Nick's going to be on the south, and Schnappy's going to be up north. Now, one thing about this map, if we scroll over here, is it's very hard to maneuver here, and actually, a lot of the versus if Schnappy wants to send any reinforcements, they either have to come up this main road, which is very easy for a Wehrmacht bunker to be in here and cut troop movements, or he'll have to battle, he'll have to come up this main road kind of here. Now the opponents have the same thing, they have their own little road they have to work with, so fuel very inaccessible, really about holding the hill here. And besides that, Schnappy's also the British, so it's going to take him a little longer to get units out here. So I'm going to rush forward. My opponent's actually going to come with an MG right here. His name is Chop. So I'm going to have these guys just finish capturing while these guys move in. I really do not want the Wehrmacht to get an MG in there because that would be devastating. I would need to get a grenade equipment, and I don't have that early. But look how close this was. I managed to pop in and deny his MG, so that was perfect. His MG is exposed and going to have to retreat back now. So we look over here. A little bit of barbed wire going over there, and let's look at Nick down in the south. Very nice. Nick built these, actually. He built the tank traps, give himself heavy cover. That's what good players do. They use the cover system. However, Nick doesn't have any riflemen out, so... Oh, yes, he does. There you go. There's the squad. So overall, Wehrmacht's gonna fall here if he's not careful, these forces. And they're out. Let's go over here. Machine gun is taking up position in this area here. I'm already working on grenades. Once grenades are done, I'm going to destroy this guy. It's kind of a nice little bug. My opponent has a mortar out also here. Now, one thing about him, though, is that I can toss grenades from over here, and he can't see me. So that killed the majority of his troops here. So there's not a whole lot for my opponent to really stop me with. Just one grenadier squad. He has his mortar over here, so I can engage simply. And meanwhile, I don't have enough munitions yet because I haven't captured these, but my mortar's now out, and I've pushed back his own mortar here, so Orange is in full retreat. Meanwhile, in the northern part of the map, we have a machine gun in the guard post here, so Schnappy does have the fuel, which is good for us. It's a machine gun here. It's definitely hard fighting out there. It's hard to reinforce. It really is. So I'm going to seize this victory point, put pressure on our opponents here. Unfortunately, we don't have the victory point in the far north, so... And this guy has stun grenades, which is interesting to use here. I don't know, I guess, oh, this is the, yes, that's right. This is the old doctrine here. They changed it around a lot. This is the elite troops doctrine. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember you could add experience to units for fuel. Do that for tanks. That's one thing I don't like about, I think they should... If you're going to buy a commander, like the biggest one is Soviet industry, you bought that commander, you paid the $3-4 for whatever it was. You bought that commander because you wanted that specific stuff the commander gave you. And when they I don't care if you change out one of the things, right? If you were to change out, for instance on this one, if you change out, okay, they don't get stormtroopers, right? If that was never there, they put that in there, fine. But if you get rid of the whole experience thing, or the whole point of Soviet industry was to make it so you have less manpower and more fuel and more munitions so you can crank out tanks. And now they've just completely changed it. It's kind of frustrating when you pay money for something like that and they just change it. They don't seem to either give you a refund or give you an option or maybe give you a discount on a new commander or something. So all's quiet. My opponent has put a machine gun in there. I'm holding this central area here pretty well. I have an ambulance coming up. Let's go look at Schnappy. It looks like he's in full retreat right now. Poison. Yeah, that unit. He does have a mortar pit, so that's a good thing. One thing Shinobi could do is he can consider blowing a hole in this wall. This kind of more advanced stuff using the destroy cover. So that might be a good thing for him to do because otherwise he has to deal with machine gun to come up this road here. Oh, nice hits right there. Yeah, don't bunch up when there's a mortar right there. So this is pretty close for those guys too. So the problem is we're hurting for fuel right now. But that's okay. Let's take a look in the south. Nick really using the cover to his advantage right here. Oh, yep, so I'm using the smoke here, popping smoke, to throw grenades. I actually threw a grenade at something else, so I had to wait for this to recharge here. But I'm in heavy cover. They're smoked out. You should immediately retreat at this point with your machine gun, especially when it's on its own. So grenade out, and that should kill that MG here. Trying to let him get out. That's the only problem with smoke. My opponent's going to reman this, so okay, it's going to cost some manpower, right? But I'm pushing in the middle here. Nick now has BARs and is pushing on this side again. Should be able to lock that down. Honestly, nice stun grenade right there. I have to fall back to my ambulance, but I'm doing a pretty good job holding the middle. I will definitely need some BARs or bazookas. So his unit should win in heavy cover. That's a beat up Wehrmacht unit, and they also have the mortar support. So it looks like Nick should have this side here. Well, it looks like the Wehrmacht player is struggling to keep units up here. Now we were telling we were talking on TeamSpeak. We're saying Schnappy, you have to seize this. You gotta like we need the fuel. So if he can push these guys off it, the fuel up here, that would be good. Taking this back because then he forces the enemy to go down this route, which he's blocked off with barbed wire. I would have personally gone the fuel first though, the one that's open near his mortar. So Nick is seizing the south here. And it looks like, so look at all these units here. Orange is getting ready to make a big push in the center. Now I have 3 rifleman squad. 1 is back at base. I upgrade them with bazookas in case I was afraid of a Luke's. Well, obviously these are Wehrmacht, but there's no Luke's here. Anyway, he's trying to get back in this building again, and I'm going to immediately toss a grenade in here because I know exactly where he's going. And that building's pretty damaged, so check this out. Damaged building. Goodbye, machine gun. Yeah, they had a bunch of, they had flamethrowers there, so I have to retreat my lieutenant. So this is not good. It really isn't. There's only, Nick's gonna have to come over and reinforce me. Big attack coming in the middle. There's even red is involved in here. And, you know, if you're gonna bunch up like this and I have grenades, like, let's go. Grenade out right here in the middle of these grenadiers, and he's going to fall back, but it pushed those guys back. And overall, this attack, even though it's still going on, has failed because with my 3 units, I was able to push back the units, but purple is coming in here. Desperate for Nick's reinforcements that are trying to come in here. I'm pulling off units. Look how bunched up these guys are. I'm trying to run my back 2 unit back. Another grenade's going to come in right here. Nice and bunched up Wehrmacht units. He's shooting a rifle grenade at me. And unfortunately, he's going to see that. Nick's units are shooting purple here, but overall, this attack has failed. They didn't seize anything, and I've managed to hold this against 3 opponents over here. However, they did hop in here, and that's pretty bad. I'm popping grenades left and right. I need these munitions. I'm very afraid they're going to hit my ambulance back here with a Faust. Thankfully, they were only able to hit 1 with a Faust, so my ambulance did not die, but it's very weak right now. And some of my mortar got pinned all the way back with this MG here. Yeah, Orange is MG spamming a little bit. Schnappy's, the fuels are both neutralized here. And he's having a hell of a time on this side here. He doesn't seem to have very many troops at all. What's his manpower at? Let's go to Schnappy here. Plenty of manpower. Definitely needs to drop some commandos down. He needs more troops. Anyway, check out these airborne coming in. Pretty cool. Nick's landing the airborne here to seize this point. So overall, pulling both fields, I pull my ambulance back to heal it up. I figured this is more of a little bit of a safer spot here. And yeah, that flame half-track is going to kill Schnappy here. That was actually a really good idea. So if they try to mess with me, though, I was afraid of that too. They're trying to mess with me. I do with the bazookas here. So I'm just going to try to stop my opponent, who has these stormtroopers now with STG-44s or MP-44s, whatever you want to call it. They are hidden right now, so there's some kind of... They have something here. Check this out. Grenade coming in. And I'm going to push them away from their cover here. So here's what I figured. I figured I could get rid of this one way or another. This building here. They wrecked me with a grenade back there, actually. I figure you can only suppress one unit at a time here. So either my rangers are going to throw a grenade in here. Surprisingly, I didn't do a ton, and my men are point blank engaging with these guys with their carbines. So very unfortunate. That mortar got a nice hit, killed 3 of my men as they retreated there. So I've lost the center temporarily because orange has a lot of things up here. But Nick's airborne are up here, and they have the nice LMGs here. We have a big raid coming in from the RAF. And I don't know what exactly they're targeting, but Shoppy, meanwhile, is going to lose if he's not careful. He has commandos out. That could really help him take back a fuel that we desperately needed during this match. That was a I don't know if that should have wiped that squad out, actually. Action in the center here. Looks like units are pulling up on the south here. We'll keep an eye on that on the mini-map. One thing is my mortar has done a good job. It's got a couple kills, but it's doing a lot of damage to my opponents. It'll be very good for buildings like this one right here. I tossed a grenade and I have to retreat my lieutenant back. That was not good. Okay, a little bit of engagement down here in the south. Nick has tank traps. The only thing about tank traps right there is it gives his opponents cover, heavy cover if they want to engage Nick. He also has Pathfinders out. Meanwhile, we've been out our fuel most of the game, which is a little frustrating. This should be a high priority. Schnappy. Come on, buddy. Take the fuel. Should have hurt us during the game. I've now put this is a nice 50 cal in this building to oversee, so that should help provide some protection for my units when they move in. Meanwhile, it looks like purple is going to flank. Now, my position, the problem of being in the middle is I can easily get outflanked. There's nothing to stop them. Maybe a nice mine would have been good out here to protect my flank here, but Schnappy's up battling the north, and Nick is in the south, so if they want to outflank, there's a hole in our lines here. I moved my mortar to start bombarding this position, but it turns out he pulled back his machine gun. More stormtroopers. That's a Star Wars. So I was building a forward retreat point here. That's actually a really good idea. That'll allow his forces to retreat closer to the base. I have some BARs in some of my units here. Trying to do battle with these guys. Keep in mind, when they're bunched up like this, a grenade would work. We have enemy forces come around here, and I'm going like, oh my goodness. My rangers are not equipped right now. They only have one man in their squadron to heal them up. These guys got wiped out by a grenade, which is unfortunate because I was looking at this big flank. Thankfully, though, they lost a squad here, and I lost a machine gun. If he's not careful, this whole building will collapse. And we would love to do that right now, actually. So will he pop out? No, he just did, just as the building collapsed too. So Nick comes over again, thankfully, but I'm hurting now. I lost my squad there. That was not good. However, I do have a major out, so I will be able to now get a Sherman or someone help me deal with this. But keep in mind, we've been battling our munitions, not victory points. So we've been in the victory point lead the whole time here. for a vast majority of it once Nick secured the south. And I'm not sure how I feel about these buildings. They have, what, one window each? Overall, not super effective. So just a little bit of mortar fire right now. Schnappy has a tank out and is securing the fuel for us, which will be good. It'll allow us to get some tanks out. But as we're about to get our fuel, they have a Panzer IV moving up into position. Look at my Rangers. I'm going to cut off that machine gun, not let them get into that building again. I was originally capturing this point, but I figured denying an MG is more important. And I see enemy units in here and a Vet 2 mortar, so I'm probably going to toss a grenade either on the mortar. Yeah, on the Vet 2 mortar. Just make it so. Just try to wipe out this mortar if I can. The veterancy gives it good reload and accuracy, so. Overall, though, look, only one man is shooting. These are very bad buildings to garrison. Only one man shoots on each side, and grenades can come in. It's not a huge building either. And since we've had the munitions for most of this game, I will keep using we'll keep using grenades. Tank on this side here, messing around with. Ooh, big attack coming on this side here. Cleaning up those units right there, just retreated. Let's get nothing really happening up north. Schnappy's just secured his position. Purple likes to outflank me, and that's a problem. I'm trying to reinforce my units, and I have a Sherman almost out here. RAF inbound again. Next parachutes with a nice double light machine guns and just laying into the Wehrmacht right there, the Panzer Grenadiers. These guys do look pretty cool. Look at that nice machine gun. Pretty nice. Pretty nice indeed. So their tank got hit by Nick had some kind. He's an AT gun. No, wait, that's his captain. Yes, Nick's captain's right here. But I have a Sherman, which is good. There's a Panzer IV over here with a lot of Grenadiers on this side. He's had trouble upgrading his Grenadiers with the Gewehrs because we've denied them munitions the whole game. So right now I have a pretty healthy army. Could obviously use some BARs, but I do not have the munitions currently. Nick has them in somewhat. Oh boy, that's cover Nick built, I'm pretty sure. Right there. But even with the heavy cover, those guys are pushed back. The big question is, where's the next attack coming? We have an attack up here. British units are not going to be Grenadiers with Gewehrs. He does have an AT gun though, so that's good. I like that camo. Is that the Halloween? Oh, hold on, Nick's take that guy in the south. So how is Nick going to deal with this? He has a captain that could easily go into his ambulance right here, one shot. I don't know if I want to do that though. I think we might be cautious. It's a lot of fierce fighting right here in the center still. But check this out. I'm going to block him in. I'm going to use the pathfinding COH to my advantage. Except my guys can't hit for anything. The problem is, look at that. I'm going to start pulling back my tank here because we have the bazooka guys that are here and he's running them. It looks like he actually ran over two of his own guys with his tank. And it is time to retreat here. I did my job, took out the tank, kept my Sherman alive, so that's excellent. Problem is they're pushing in the center again. Orange. Red still has a bunch of troops here. Looks like Schnappy did a good job. Nice grenade there. It looks like a lot of dead Grenadiers there. Looks like a squad got wiped. Yeah, he did a lot of damage to those units. Nick's doing a good job of holding my flank here. Well, you know, we're definitely meeting their advances on the left side here. We have a Panther in the center now. And here's what I was worried about a little bit in the game, but didn't realize until the last minute. I'm getting outflanked by a Panzer IV, and I am not aware of this. So that's a real problem. I just had to retreat units, and I'm getting pressured in the center, and now a Panther's moving up. This went from bad to worse right now. I need to fall back with all my units reorganized. So my order even got denied here, so I'm gonna have to back up, retreat all my units back to base. I cancel my full retreat point from my major, and it is time to retreat. And that Panther is gonna be hot on my heels, so he's gonna want to finish off my wounded Sherman. But I have rear echelon who are coming to repair my Sherman that are now going to just shoot at enemy units, try to slow them down a little bit. These guys are basically gonna die for the or get run over. That works too. So all my units back to base. Not good, but thankfully we have 45 fuel per minute. We can get another tank out. I have a Jackson on the way. It's really just manpower right now. And since we're getting a lot of munitions, we have 46 right now actually because we have great map control. With that, we'll be able to... My Rangers are pretty deadly with their carbines, but giving them 4 Thompsons will be amazing. So I'm going to be doing that. 4 Thompsons going to go into production here. So really help them in the short combat, the short range combat. The problem is Nick's flank is now exposed, and I'll have collapsed in the center. There's also 3 players in the center right now, but okay, they have 2 victory points. They have 3 victory points actually. They're turning that around, but no fuel whatsoever. It's gonna allow us to pump out tanks, and we have a Firefly out now too. Now a Sherman obviously can't take on a Panther. A little bit of skirmishing going back and forth here. Big push coming after Nick here. Look at that Blob. The Blob. It is like COH 2 in the beginning months with the Soviet conscripts. Look at this. Okay, now there's 2 players there. I'll give them that. But there's so... Nick is about to get screwed here. I have my tanks here, but oh, there's a lot of bazooka. You know, guys, with Panzer strikes here. It is. I'm telling my tank to retreat. Thankfully, didn't fire at the Jackson. Nick is holding them somewhat with his units. He's fighting a retreat here. I'm kind of helping to protect this flank a little bit. I have bazookas here, but so many Wehrmacht units. So many. Nice. I actually threw a grenade and ran into it, I think, there. Or someone threw a grenade. So they're trying to... Nick is bending, but he's not breaking, and I'm now behind. And look at that, just shredding units there. 15 kills for those units there so far. And the thing is, Nick is a reinforcer. He can just reinforce his units. I mean, as a defender, he can reinforce his units here. These guys got kind of stuck along the wiring there, so that last unit, Vet 2, will be wiped out. So overall, really heavy losses for the Wehrmacht there. Now, Nick, of course, got pretty... oh, these guys are down here. Okay, so yeah, he only has really 1 rifleman squad. Another one's coming up. These guys are coming back. So I have my bazooka team here. There's a Sherman over here. I'm ready. If this Panzer IV wants to do battle, I'll do it. Let's go. Let's fight. Snappy on the left flank was engaging with commandos. Yeah, so I think the big thing is for our opponents, the stormtroopers they've gone with. Let's see how much one of these guys costs to reinforce here. That guy's just Panzer Grenadier spamming. 33, okay, that's not crazy high for these guys, but they're taking a lot of losses for what they have here. Now, I could be using the rifleman defense. That could always help out Nick because we're in the middle of the road here, but
HMG squad ready for action.
I could actually oh, more paratroopers coming in. I think paratroopers can reinforce in their own territories that way, because that is pretty cool. I like that. I don't play the airborne too much.
Check your ammo. Heavy truck waiting for deployment.
So all is quiet. Actually, Snappy's had a little bit of action up here. He's a 5-man squad. It's critical. And just pushing them back. I don't know if the stormtroopers are actually really that good for the price they're paying. Look at these guys just getting shredded. I have the BAR with the lieutenant. I have the guys, the Rangers right here. We're down at 200 points. It's becoming harder and harder for our opponents to even think about winning. We have 4 points here. We took the one in the south. Schnappy's AT gun with his Cromwell doing some damage. This is Firefly from behind there. And this is not a good engagement for red here. Bet 2 though, that's pretty good. So, wiped out. But more troops are incoming. Panther is on this side here. And it looks like we have another 2 Panthers coming up. And that is when red decides to quit. So now they're down a player. And he's just... he has to be somewhat careful here. The Wehrmacht players, they can't just rush up here. Their own smoke isn't really saving them. Now he's his rear armor exposed there. He's taking hits. I went in there and cleared out a machine gun. It's pretty quiet on Nick's side. It looks like, yeah, it's just a unit retreating over there. So Snappy did what the British do. They dig in, they hold positions, and that's what he did here. And we have the victory point on that side. So they're starting a very low score there now. Very low amount of victory points left for our opponents.
Sherman ready to go. Steady up.
It's just the AI on the side, red. So purple's left, orange left. They might do one. They're going to do one last push here, it seems, and then they've lost the game. So depending on how they do on this push, it may be over.
Armor here.
So all's quiet, securing more points here. Nick's paratroopers, look how many kills, 14. Okay, not as much as I thought. And look at that. The Blob! I actually had some good ideas for how to stop blobs in COH, but that was... I'm not going to get into the very last minute of this video with that, because I don't know. I think the average watch time is not super high for each video, so... Probably want to say something in the beginning of the video if I want to really get that point across. So as they push in here, I have a machine gun right here to suppress them, going towards the middle, and they are just getting, in the negative cover of the road, getting absolutely slaughtered, getting wiped out as they retreat. Just moving up, getting suppressed. And forces gone. Good game to our opponents. They're down to 50 points here. Orange just letting his units die here. Vet 3, some of these guys. 20 kills, though. That's pretty good for those units. Now they're dead, though. And we have an elephant here. So everyone has gone. Chop is here, actually. Yeah, I don't like blobbers, and I'm not afraid to say I don't like blobbers. So that's a problem. There's an elephant here. Nick immediately needs to reman this. He's shooting HE shells at that heavy, heavy armor. I'm going to move in. If we kill this guy's elephant, maybe he will quit. So Bazooka's hitting his rear armor here. He's Sherman behind him here. Nick has switched over. We have the radio net to coordinate armor better. It'll make us fire faster. And main gun destroyed. That elephant is gone. I managed to get my Sherman out of here thanks to the fire covering it. And that is when our opponents ran out of victory points. So, yep, they got they're killed here. Good game to our opponents. It's definitely a fun match. Just remember, do not blob. I had the most kills, but I had the most losses in the center. So we were able to hold the munitions, able to hold the fuel after Snappy managed to wrestle away from that guy on the hill, and that's what ultimately won us the game. Having munitions for grenades, having the hill, having the fuel, and our opponents made some mistakes and blobs. So, good game to our opponents. I'll see you guys in the next part, or the next episode for Season 6. Codperman221, sign off. Hope you enjoyed.